Hello, gossipers. Tonight we're going to talk Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story. The series is now on Netflix.
All stories alleged. For gossip and entertainment only. Let's do this.
Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story, is the second installment of Ryan Murphy's Monsters. Now, the first one was Jeffrey Dahmer, which was an unbelievable watch, played by Evan Peters. So now we have Lyle and Erik Menendez, who emmed their parents, killed their parents. Can I say kill their parents? So there's a lot of talk going around now that they want these brothers out because the story is they were taken advantage of by their father sexually. So people were saying because of that, that's the reason why they should get out, because this was done to them. Now, I watched the entire series. It was such an interesting watch to see what was going on in these boys' life. First of all, filthy rich, very rich. The father, oh Lord, I can't remember the name. I think it was Jose. I should have printed a list of characters on the show so I could know the real life counterparts. But yes, the father is Jose Menendez, and he migrated from Cuba, and then their mom is Mary Kitty Menendez, and she, I think, was just a white American woman, blonde hair, that, you know, the American thing. So during watching this show, I see where a lot of people, they were saying it's time to let the brothers out because they did what they did out of protection. And watching the show, the brothers, let me just say this. I knew about the Menendez brothers, but I did not follow it in depth to say, you know, this is what. It's not until I watched the Netflix series and I heard people going back and forth that I just did like a crime watch to see what it was all about compared to the show. So most of what I'm saying is from what I've seen from the show. Now, I know Lyle and Erik, they were not pleased. They said that the show did not do them justice. Instead, it made them look more guilty on the reason why, just stuff like that. But basically in the show, the brothers were saying from they were kids, they were being molested. First, he started with Lyle, because Lyle is the eldest. And it went on with Lyle till about the age 8 or 9. And then when Lyle said to his father, no more, basically, then the father went to Erik. And they were trouble. They were spoiled, very rich. And they thought the parents was going to off them because, you know, of what the father did. The father was very controlling. It was like what he says has to go. Erik wanted to be a star in Hollywood. He wanted to be a model. And Lyle, I'm not quite sure what Lyle wanted to be, but I know both boys played tennis. Or was that just Erik? It's mostly Erik with the tennis. But yes, and Erik wanted to be a model. But yeah, the father was very domineering, that, you're gonna, for Lyle, you're gonna work with me at my company, because I think he went to Princeton and he got kicked out for cheating, and the father was like, you're not gonna put shame on me. And they were also robbers. They would rob the wealthy in Beverly Hills. Now these are filthy rich kids, but they would rob the wealthies in Beverly Hills. And basically what they did was, what I did not know until I watched the show, or what people are speculating, is that when they went in and took their parents out, apparently their parents was asleep. So it's not like the parents, they were being threatened or physically being threatened by their parents. So they were like, you know what? You guys are threatening. Let's just kill. No, they waited, as far as we know, until the parents went to, when the parents, they were watching movies in their living room, and that's where the boys came in and shot them multiple times, especially in the faces and everything like that. And I think they were upset with the mother, Kitty, because she knew what was going on, but she did not react or protect her boys. I know that it got to the point where Lyle, when the father allegedly was not doing what he did with Lyle and went to Erik, Lyle also tried to go at Erik in that nature. Because on the series, they showed when the brothers kissed for a minute, and they also showed the brothers taking a bath together. So that, they said, is from Jose, the dad, taking baths with the kids, and he would lock the door, and the mother, Kitty, she would just ignore it, and knowing that her boys are in there taking a shower with their dad naked. And for some people, they might say, it's innocent, it's father son, but I don't know what age range they were for that to happen. And again, no one wants that. Sometimes it comes down to culture, but with this situation, the insinuation is he was touching his sons while taking showers and doing other stuff with the sons. So what else from it? They had an attorney. Well, the first trial, they got a hang jury. So they had to do another trial, which took 2 years. And then this time only Erik was allowed to testify. Now, Lyle is the very dominant one. He is bossy like his dad. And when Erik went to the therapist and confessed to the outing of their parents, Lyle was very upset. Then the therapist started recording their conversation, which the admission of guilt was captured on. And they also displayed Lyle. Erik was just laid back, but Lyle, they were saying Lyle will get people to come into the prison, family and friends, and tell them to say this kind of story, that kind of story, everything like that, to make stories up to get them out, or get them out of jail. I think just until it was time for the trial. I know they were not released, so the day when they were arrested, they stayed in jail until they had to go to the trial. And again, it was 2 trials. The first one was a hung jury. The second one was guilty. And they were both sentenced to life. And they had to serve it in separate prisons, which was devastation for them in the sense that they were very close. And I remember watching that scene on the Netflix series, and tears actually came to my eyes, because it was like, oh my gosh, just the way they showed it. They knew how to pull at your heartstrings, making these brothers thinking they were going to go spend life together, but instead they went the opposite way. Another thing with the series, and I don't know if it's true, they loved Milli Vanilli. They loved Milli Vanilli. Blame It on the Rain. Blame it on the rain. It was falling, falling. Yes, blame it on the stars. It shine at night. And there was another Milli Vanilli song. But yeah, and after watching it, we heard people were saying that, they should be out because they were taken advantage of and it was self-defense and everything like that. But if the parents were sleeping when they were when they were killed, I'm just gonna have to say the words, and hopefully, to whatever strike or whatever. But when the parents were killed, they were asleep, so they could not go for manslaughter. So it had to be premeditated because they did plan to do that. Now, to come to 2024 right now, I think Erik, they had a cousin who testified. I think his name was Andy Cano. And he testified. No, he did not testify in court on this. And this is where, paths are crossed in this sense, that he testified twice on behalf of his cousins to say that they did say the father was touchy-feely with them. But then Andy said that he found a letter, I think, couple months before the murder of the parents that Erik wrote. And in that letter, it stated that Erik wrote that the father was molesting them, basically. So, the question is, well, if Andy went on the stand 2 times, because it was 2 trials, why wasn't the letter mentioned when he went up and testified? So that's something you have to look into, is like, really, did they find a letter 2 months before or after the verdict? They were like, "Ooh, look, we found this letter," and it was 2 months before they killed the parent. If that was the case, then Andy could have went and told someone that, here, this is the letter. We need to get the boys help, get them out. But the letter was never mentioned. And again, he testified twice. Now, Andy is no longer around. He died in 2003 to confirm that, yes, the letter was given to him prior to the murder from Erik, but no, he's no longer. So, it's premeditated. If they were charged with manslaughter, then most likely, they would have got 20 years or whatever, and they could have been released. But because it was premeditated, it was something they planned, and they said they planned it because they thought the parents was going to kill them first, so they had to do that. So yeah, now it's coming out that a lot of people, they're petitioning to have these men now taken out of prison. I think they were 18 and 21 when they went in. It's been over 30 years now. And I'm going to read you a very quick article, and this is from Fox 11. And it says, Menendez brothers, Gascon reveals new evidence letter that led to case review. So apparently they're reviewing the case now because more evidence not came out, but there were evidence that were not heard, that was not played a part, or evidence that came out after the brothers were in jail. I also know that Kim Kardashian, who is somewhat of a lawyer, I think she passed the baby bar, she is also advocating for them to be released, that they served, at least 30 years. It was manslaughter. She wants them out. A lot of people want them out, but I'm going to just read this quick article on what evidence they have. Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon on Sunday revealed one of two pieces of new evidence in the case of Lyle and Erik Menendez, the brothers convicted of murdering their parents in Beverly Hills in 1989. Gascon posted a series of photos on Instagram, one of which appears to be a handwritten letter from Erik Menendez to his cousin Andy Cano. See, that told you Andy Cano. Hold on. Andy Cano, in which Erik allegedly complained about the abuse he suffered from his father months before the killing. According to the brothers' attorneys, Cano's mom found the letter 9 years ago. Cano testified at trial that Erik had told him about his father's abuse when Erik was 13. Cano died in 2003, like I said. Gascon's office is working to determine if the brothers are entitled to having their cases reheard or even being resentenced. Let me see. Resentenced. This paperwork is so hard. Okay, hold on, guys. Sorry about that. I'm all over the place. And now, apparently, their father, I remember in the series, their father took over management for the Spanish boy band Menudos, if you guys remember Menudos. So the second evidence is that this Roy Rosello, a former member of the band Menudo, alleged that Jose Menendez drugged and sexually assaulted him when he was about 14 during a visit to the Menendez home in New Jersey. Jose Menendez was an executive at RCA Records, which signed Menudo to a recording contract. Lyle and Erik Menendez have been serving life sentences since 1996 for killing their parents, Jose and Mary Kitty Menendez. While the brothers never denied killing their parents, at trial, attorneys argued they fear for their lives after suffering years of sexual abuse from their father. The Menendez brothers have appealed their convictions multiple times over the years without success, but a new petition a year and a half ago points to two pieces of evidence that the brothers' lawyers say bolstered their sexual abuse claims. Interest in the case has recently been renewed by the release of Netflix Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story, and an upcoming documentary in which the brothers tell their side of the story. The brothers have a hearing on November 29th. So yes, gossipers, on November 29th, they will find out if they can be released. Now, they've been in there for over 30 years. So if they do get the sentence reduced or changed to manslaughter, then they could be out, because I think they served enough time. And again, what are those two new evidence? That Erik wrote a letter months before the killing, which this letter was discovered 9 years ago, and an ex-boy member from the band Menudo, Roy Rosello, said that Jose Menendez, the father, drugged and sexually assaulted him when he was 14. So right there, they're saying that the boys aren't lying. They were sexually abused, because a lot of people did not buy it. And can I say, me personally, I was not quite sure if I believed the boys on their dad. But I'm still 50-50. But to hear that someone else is coming out to corroborate their story, to say not only was he sexually abusive to his sons, but he done the same to me. So, that and the letter. So we'll have to wait until November 29th. Now, gossipers, did you watch a series on Netflix? If not, Go take a look, take a watch, and then you can tell me your thoughts. Please leave in the comments below. Let me know what your thought on this case is. And again, it's the Menendez brothers. Just put their name in and you'll see a bunch of article, videos, everything like that that will come up on this case. So I'm going to close this out by showing you basically a timeline of how the trial played out until they were sentenced to life. So you're gonna go ahead and see that. Also, I have a statement from Erik. I'm not gonna read it. I'll post it. I'll put the statement on here so you can read it for yourself. A statement from Erik, and I think the family basically saying that Ryan Murphy, the producer of the Netflix show. And if you don't know who Ryan Murphy is, he's the mind behind American Horror Stories and just a lot, just a lot. He makes some good thrilling shows to watch. So yeah, so just take a look at the timeline and then you can see the letters that the family and Erik wrote about the Netflix series. Thank you, gossipers, for listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you. I did not know this. They were reunited. Nice. After 17 years apart. Those were the actors who played the characters.